Parenting is one of the greatest gifts and one of the greatest challenges we will ever face. How do we do it right? Here's my 3 steps to raising great kids. What's up guys, my name is Jeff and I make videos just like this every single week to help make faithful followers of Jesus and equip them to change the world. That sounds like what you're looking for. Do me a favor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click that little notification bell so you'll know every time I release a video. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, it is no surprise to you that I am a father of a adorable little girl who is about to turn 3, and I'm very proud of that. And I love being a dad so much. I didn't realize what it was going to mean to me whenever I looked into those eyes and I held that baby girl for the first time. Now I want to say that I am a Christian and I'm raising my daughter to be a Christian because it means more to me than anything that she grows up to love God. But I do believe these tips I have today are good for any religious background or affiliation or non-affiliation. I believe these are just good practices for any parent to raise up a great child. In saying that, one of my greatest concerns is that I'm gonna mess her up. So what I try to do is I always try to be the best that I can be. I try to be the best father, the best friend, the best husband, the best youth pastor. I'm always trying to be better. And especially in raising my daughter, I want to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward, that I'm doing the things that I should be doing to help raise her up and raise her up right. I want her to grow up to love God, to love Jesus, to have a respect for the church, that I have these desires. I know she's going to grow up in the church because I'm a pastor, but I don't want her to grow up hating the church. I want her to understand and to love. I will say also that my daughter is only 3, so none of these are perfected. I don't know how these are all going to relate, but these are what I've learned through studying and researching and watching development classes on parenting and just what I've seen kind of affect my daughter's life as she's grown up. Number 1 is your child is never too young to understand. Now what I mean by that is so often as parents, we are the adult, we know best, we know why we are saying to do or not do a certain thing. Our child doesn't, especially when they're at the young, more impressionable ages, they don't. And teaching your child that just because mommy or daddy said so, I don't believe is the right way to do it. I'm not saying you have to justify yourself, but I'm saying your child should learn to understand, and when they learn to understand why you've made the decision you make, they're more likely to make that same decision later in the future. Because guess what? In college, mommy and daddy's not always going to be there to say so. They need to learn to understand why the decision is being made that's being made. Is it dangerous? Is it expensive? Is it not the right decision for your family at this time? Is it unhealthy? Why? What does unhealthy even mean? Sure, our kids should eat their greens and their broccoli, right? Why? Kids need to know the why. Kids are never too young to understand. For my daughter, we've been explaining things to her since she was first born. Of course, she could not understand us, but it built into us the habit to always explain and to help her understand. And still yet, whenever she gets in trouble, she goes and sits in timeout. When I go get her up, I sit down in the floor with her and I explain to her why she's in timeout. That I make sure that she understands what she did and that mommy and daddy's not just being mean, but that we actually want her to understand why she was in trouble, whether she was going to hurt herself or damage something else or all the other reasons that we just didn't want her to do what she was doing at that time. Your child is never too young to understand. Number 2, and this has been one of the biggest game changers for me, is teach your child to think. Now this kind of spins off number 1, but so often as parents, what do? We tell our child what to do. Hey, put on your jacket. Hey, eat your greens. Hey, go right there. Do good in school. All we're doing is telling them what to do. We're not teaching them how to think about what to do. You see, there's a difference in thinking for a child and teaching a child to think. When we do all the decision making for our children, all we're doing is telling them what to do. But we want our children, because one day they're going to turn 18 or 19 and they're going to move off to college, or they're going to move out, or they're going to get married and they're going to have kids of their own. The problem is if we've never taught our children to think for themselves, what are they going to do when themselves are all they have to lean on? The sad fact is most children are not going to learn to think for themselves. Therefore, when they get to college, they're going to be influenced by everyone else around them because that's someone doing the thinking for them. So raise your child up and teach them how to think. So if it's cold outside, now your toddler, put a jacket on her. But when they get old enough to make that decision for themselves, they don't want a jacket. It's on them. When they get outside and it's 32 degrees and they're freezing, I bet tomorrow they put on that jacket. What they've just done is they've taught themselves to think. They've found out the consequences for not doing things the right way. If it's going to cause them self-harm, or it's going to hurt them, or it's dangerous, then yes, you may want to step in and make the parental decision. But as I've heard it said, if it's not life-threatening or morally threatening, let them do it. Let them learn to make their own decisions. For us, with our toddler, so if you're the toddler age, how we do that, we try not to just grab London's clothes and throw them on her. Instead, we say, hey London, do you want to wear the blue or do you want to wear the pink today? So we'll say to London, do you want chicken nuggets and broccoli? Or do you want hot dogs and broccoli? Or do you want sausage and eggs? Or do you want this other thing we're prepared to make? And we're okay with her decision. We're teaching her, even at this young, impressionable age, we're teaching her how to make her own decisions. We're teaching her how to think. And again, we are by no means perfect, but we are trying to leave these opportunities open. And we always ask her something we're ready to do. We're not going to show her this pink outfit if we don't want her to wear the pink outfit, right? We're not going to show her this tiny pink outfit and the short sleeve shirt if it's 30 degrees outside. I'm showing her something that I'm okay with her choosing. So give your child the choice and be okay with the choice that they make. Teach them how to think. This is the most important thing that any of us can do, is to teach our children to think. So this is going to be my third point, but I am going to have a fourth bonus point for my Christian parents. Stick around to the end of the video for that one. But my third point is this: don't be afraid to praise your children. So many children grow up not being praised for the things that they do good, or even the things they do mediocre. Now, if your child brings home an B, or maybe even a C, don't be afraid to say, hey, good job. I know you really tried. You were struggling with that math class. Praise them. Let them know if they do good in sports, or if they wake up at the right time, if they put away the trash, if they actually don't leave their plate on the counter, but they put it in the sink. Don't be afraid to say, hey, thanks. I really appreciate that. I'm a youth pastor. I see it all the time in students that students are not praised enough. Therefore, the only way they can find the attention that they seek is by being punished. And it sounds crazy and counterintuitive, but children will do whatever it takes to get the attention of their parents. And if that is to be punished, then you're going to have a messy child on your hands. Praise them. Love on them. Don't be afraid to hug them and show them that you do love them and that you do care and what they did is good enough. All children deep down are seeking the praise and approval of their parents. Show them. Tell them. Love them. My fourth point for all my Christian parents, and this probably should be at number one if you are a Christian parent, is pray for your child. Pray daily for your child. Every night since, as far as I can remember, since London was born, Jessica and I have prayed over her at night. Now, if you go to my Instagram feed, you're going to see a picture where we're at a restaurant and we're all praying and we have our hands held and London has her head bowed. I understand she is 3 and she may not have any idea what we're doing, but we're teaching her how to pray. Sort of how we teach her to think. We're teaching her how to have a relationship with God. And so every night before she goes to bed, now we will hold hands. We'll ask her who she wants to pray for, and she'll usually say me and mommy and myself. And then she'll say to a few of her friends, usually from church, or a couple of the adults from church that she knows, but she always picks a couple people to pray for. We bow our heads and we pray. And then every morning it actually just went off a second ago as I started the recording for this video. I have a app called Echo. And every morning at 7:05, well, no one's gonna be in focus, but every morning at 7:05, it reminds me to pray for London and to pray for Jessica. And so I'm always trying, again, I'm not perfect, I'm always trying to pray for my wife and for my daughter. I lift them up to God before I lift myself up to God. So guys, if you're a Christian parent, prayer should be at the end of your day and the beginning of your day. Your day should be soaked in prayer and prayer for your child. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, maybe click that little notification bell. It truly means the world to me. By the way, guys, if you would like to pick up one of your I Am Loved or I Am Beautiful shirts, you can do so at the link down below. Everything you buy helps to support this channel, and I appreciate it so much. All right, guys, thank you so much. Keep living that bold life.